G'day everyone, Craig Hitchens here again. I'm going to take you through the tapping sequence today for guilt. Now guilt in this respect is if you've done something that you feel guilt about, or there's been an occurrence in your life where you're feeling guilt, even though if it's not really warranted. Sometimes we just, for some unknown reason, feel guilty about things. Maybe you yelled at your child when you shouldn't have, something like that. Guilt can be a real block to healing and to positive mindset and to recovery generally. We sort of have a big mantle of guilt dumped on our shoulders in this world for no apparent reason. A lot of the time we're just told that we should feel guilty about this or guilty about that, and it blocks you. So guilt can be cleared away with tapping. There's also other spin-offs of guilt, which is shame and embarrassment, which have separate tapping protocols to those, and I will do those later on. Well, you'll probably find them a bit further down in the list. But for now, I'll give you the basic one for guilt. Now, like with all of the mindful tapping sequences, I'm going to assume that you've already gotten yourself into a mindful state. If you've not, then at this point, pause the video and go and take a few moments to become mindful and tune into your guilt, the occurrence or the person or whatever it is that's created this guilt. And I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, so now we're back and it's time to do the tapping sequence. So tune into where the guilt sits in your body. It quite often sits in the abdominal area for a lot of people, the feeling, or sometimes it'll sit up on the shoulder like weight, or even better if you're able to tune into the event that took place that created the guilt for you, that's even better. So tune into it, write down how you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being virtually no upset, 10 being about as guilty as you can imagine ever feeling, and write it down so that you know where to start from. Okay, now the tapping sequence is very simple again. We're going to be tapping the index finger, okay, so pointer finger, and we're tapping it on the inside here, right up at the corner, okay? I like to use actually one finger for this, but you can use two. It's entirely up to you, but I like to use one. And you're going to want to whack it pretty firmly. We follow that up, of course, with a collarbone, center, down an inch, across an inch, we have the collarbone point. So dig around a little bit and you'll find where it's tender, and that's your target spot, okay? All right, so take a moment again, tune into your guilt, give it a rating, and off we go. So we're going to be tapping here about 20, 30 times, thereabouts. Okay, and sit with that. And see if that has reduced it. And sit with it for a little while. You can sit with it for a minute or two if you need to, but just sit with it for a little while and see how it feels. I'm going to assume that it hasn't dropped much, so we're going to go through the PR reversal points. So karate chop on the side of the hand. Right about here, we're going to use 2 to 3 fingers. And you're going to do that fairly firmly, okay? About 10 or 20 times. Okay, now tune back into the problem again and the guilt, and away we go again. So index finger, collarbone, and see how you feel with that. Creeping down a little bit, come down a lot. If it's come down a lot, no problem, just jump straight ahead to the 9 gamut movements. If not, we're going to go through the next PR point, which is the sore spot on the left side, sort of diagonally down from your collarbone point here, right about there. Dig around, it'll be there somewhere. You'll find it, it'll be tender, and you want to massage it in a clockwise direction. Okay, so you can do that from anything from about 20 seconds to a couple of minutes. It really depends on how you feel. Sometimes some people even will go a little longer because it feels quite nice. Okay, back to the algorithm again. So index finger, collarbone, Sit with that for a while. How does that feel? Think about the upset again. Try and think about the guilt. Try and think about the event that triggered the guilt. Try and think about where the guilt sits in your body and see whether it has dropped down. If it hasn't, we'll do the middle point in between the nose and the top lip again, in here. This is an acupressure point for the central channel, and it's quite a clearing place to tap. Okay, index finger again, 20, 30 times, thereabouts. Collarbone. Okay, how are we feeling? Sometimes you'll feel energy move up through the body, sometimes you move it up out of your body. These are all quite normal things. Sometimes you'll feel a little bit like this. That's all the energy moving around, so that's okay. You're unblocking and you're moving the story out. So don't panic too much about that. So you should be feeling a little better by now. If you're not, repeat the sequences again a couple more times and see if you can get it down at least by a couple of points. That's what we're aiming for. So let's say we've got it down by a couple of points now. So we're going to the 9 gamut movements. Okay, so here, in between ring finger and pinky, on the back of your hand, in the fleshy part, you're going to want to tap there fairly firmly. You can do it with a fist or you can do it with an open hand. It doesn't really matter. While we do the craziest little movements again. Okay, so eyes open, eyes closed, eyes open. Look down left, look down right. Circle one way, circle the other way. Hum. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum again. All right, keep tapping that gamut spot for a little bit longer. And tune into that guilt a bit more if you can. And the algorithm one more time, or the sequence one more time. So, index finger. Collarbone. Okay. That should have you feeling at least a bit better. Down by about 2 or 3 points by now. If you haven't come down by 2 or 3 points, repeat it. Try it again and see if you can bring it down by about 2 points at least. Okay, so let's say you've now brought it down by a couple of points and you're feeling fair bit better. And so now we're going to do the finishing movements, which is the floor to ceiling eye roll. So we're going to be tapping the gamut point again. Eyes to the floor. Rolling the eyes up as we go. Nice and slow. All the way to the roof. Looking as straight up as you can. Okay. So you can use that sequence as often as you like around anything surrounding guilt, any type of guilt. The thing to remember is, even though I've done the video in around about a 10-minute time frame, you can pause this and take your time and take longer over it if you'd like to. That's the idea. If you lose the feeling a bit, that's a good thing. It means it's coming down. But if you're worried, take a bit of time and get mindful about it again and tune into it and start again. It's okay. It's perfectly okay. You're not really going to do yourself any harm with this, and most of the sensations of energy moving are all quite normal, and they will calm down and settle down. Okay, I think that's about all for this one. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.